going on, YouTube? Just going to do this quick little video. I'm going to start something, I guess, a little bit different, kind of go in a different direction, but kind of keep what I started doing. But this one, I'm going to react to week, the NFL season, and kind of my opinion and kind of a quick breakdown of all the games and things like that. Now, me personally, I am a Cowboys fan. I know I'll probably get some grief for that, but um, yeah, I've been a fan for a while now. But anyways, I just like I said, I wanted to give my opinion, my take on all the games and things like that, and even break down week to week and kind of possibly give predictions for the following week. So with that said, welcome to the channel. Hope you enjoy it. Feel free to like, subscribe. So we'll start with, of course, the Thursday night game. The Lions went into Arrowhead, did what they needed to do. Aiden Hutchinson, the absolute beast. Apparently, the Lions signed Kadarius Toney pregame, so that was good. That guy. It's funny because he deleted his Twitter account after the game, which I found funny. But the Chiefs, they look like they need help at wide receiver. Yeah, Mahomes, it was Mahomes for the most part. That pick six was not on him. That was all Tony. But like Jared Goff, Montgomery, so forth, Amonra. They all look, Goff is more like a game manager type quarterback, I believe. But good win for the Lions on the road. The Chiefs will be fine. It just one loss. Get it over with. They'll be perfectly fine. Next up, the game that kind of shocked me was the Bengals and Browns. The Bengals just didn't look like the Bengals. Yet again, I'll probably say this numerous times. It just week one, it'll get better with time. But if that's what they're going to be putting out on the field, that was bad. It just goes back, a couple of years ago, even last year. Bengals offensive line is just trash. It really is. No way around it. Browns, I mean, they look fine. Chubb, 100+ yards. Deshaun, kind of the game manager, and so forth. Elijah Moore had three catches for 43 yards. But yeah, it was a beatdown. Next up, Texans and Ravens. I mean, you're probably going to see quite a bit of this from the Texans, the Panthers, and the Colts, because of the starting quarterbacks are all rookies. So it's going to take time for them to get into a groove and get comfortable. But C.J. Stroud's first NFL pass was to himself, so that was nice. I guess that's something you can hang your hat on. Lamar, he wasn't great, but he did what he needed to do. Of course, running the ball and so forth. Zay Flowers for the Ravens did well. 9 catches, 78 yards, but Ravens came out on top on that one. Next up, this was a kind of a surprise too. Buccaneers beating the Vikings. Mayfield, he looked all right. He looked pretty good. 21 for 34, 2 touchdowns. Kirk, you're going to get these games from Kirk. It's week to week. You don't know how he's going to be. But Justin Jefferson, 9 catches, $150. The guy's always going to just catch everything. Even Mike Evans, he had 66 yards and a touchdown. So I mean, Buccaneers squeaked it out of there. Next up, the Panthers and Falcons. Like I was saying, Bryce Young, starting quarterback, rookie. So it's going to take some time. Ritter, did Did well. I mean, all he needed to do was hand the ball off today. Tyler Algier and Bijan Robinson just went crazy. So it's kind of what I thought. The Falcons beating the Panthers. All right. Next up, we got the Cardinals and Commanders. Joshua Dobbs. I'm not sure where he came from. I knew he was drafted by somebody else, but I can't remember where. But um, the Cardinals just, it's tough. I don't know what they're going to do with Kyler. But, Sam Howell I'm sorry, the Commanders, yeah. The Commanders, he managed the game, just or Brian Robinson Jr. 19 carries, 59 yards. Overall, I mean, it was a win for the Commanders. I expected that one. Next up, Jaguars and Colts. Lawrence looked good, other than that one pick. Same with Richardson. It's going to take time for the Colts to kind of come up with something that works, especially with Taylor going to be gone for 4 games. But the Jaguars, they did what they had to do. ETN, and then how about I believe it's Calvin Ridley. That first game, 8 receptions, 100 yards, touchdown. I think he's going to be fine. Him and Lawrence, I think, will be a hell of a team together. So, kind of what I expected there. Now, this one, I figured it would go this way. The 49ers just went into Pittsburgh and just drummed the Steelers. I just beat them down. Purdy, to me, he's a product of the system. I'm not saying that he's not good. He knows what he's doing. And that's the plus, is that he's comfortable with that system and he knows what he's doing. And I think that, that helps, the team and him, especially, with an offensive line like that and a team that can run the ball. Yeah. I see the 49ers going very far, if not back to the championship game. McCaffrey, come on, man. That's it's almost not fair. And then you got Brandon Ayuk today, 8 receptions, 129, 2 touchdowns. And then you also have Samuel, who they really didn't need to go to as much. Even Kittle, he had a groin injury. But yeah, that team, they're for real. Steelers, Kenny Pickett, there was so much hype before the season started. But, and like I said, just week 1, it could take a couple weeks for everything to kind of settle in and for us to kind of get a big picture of what's going to be happening. But it just didn't look right when you have to throw the ball almost 50 times. You need a better running game, and that's my opinion. All right, next up, we got so the Titans and Saints game. That was kind of a dud. I mean, Ryan Tannehill, I'm sorry, they should have pulled him. Malik Willis should be the starter, in my opinion. At least he can get out of the pocket and kind of run around. Tannehill is kind of like a statue. He's like, he's just like a target waiting to be hit. Derek Carr looked fine, just, manager. The one pass he had late in the game down the sideline, it was nice. But, Derrick Henry couldn't get anything going, only 63 yards. Same with D-Hop. Only had 7 catches for 65 yards. Titans, I don't know. But that was kind of one of those games. You're just like, okay. All right. Next up, we got the Raiders and the Broncos. Garoppolo, I he's kind of like the other, another game manager, just kind of dink and dunk and kind of screens and things like that. He didn't really light it up. Um, Neither did Wilson. I mean, he had to throw 34 times for 177 and 2 touchdowns, but that was just another game that was just kind of, it was tough to watch. If you like defense, I guess that game was for you. All right, Eagles and the Patriots. Hurts, he did well. Um, you know, 22 to 33, 170 and a touchdown. I mean, nothing special, nothing spectacular. Yes, they were in rain. They were playing in the rain, so it made it a little bit more difficult. But I mean, look at Mac Jones. Is he really the future? I don't know. It's hard to say. Um, he had to throw the ball 54 times, 316 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a pick. Yeah, it's tough to say. Like I said, week one, so it's going to take some time to figure out all these teams. But Eagles won 25-20. All right, next one was the best game of the day, in my opinion. The Dolphins at the Chargers. This game was badass. Um, I if I'm not mistaken, I think they played last year in the opener as well, and it was the same kind of game. It was just back and forth all game long. But Tua just crazy, And Tyreek Hill, come on, man, 215 and 2 touchdowns. I tell you what, I got lucky. I have him on my fantasy team. Um, Dolphins look good if they, and this is what they need to do. They need to keep Tua upright, and anything's possible with that team. Now their defense, of course, this was not a defensive game by any stretch of the imagination. So if you like points, this was the game right here. Herbert looked good. He got the ball to Eckler, which was he was running around all day long, scoring touchdowns. Same with Keenan Allen. He didn't have any touchdowns, but 76 yards is respectable. But game of the day for me. All right. This one was sort of a surprise. I think it opened some eyes up. The Packers and the Bears. Packers went in there and just beat them. I mean, beat them down. Jordan Love looked great. You know, um, 245, 3 touchdowns. Fields certainly didn't look like he did in the preseason. Bunch of checkdowns, things like that. Um, Aaron Jones looked great. I mean, the Packers just went in there and dominated. Um, you know, the, Plain and simple. All right. So last game was a Sunday night game. Um, Being a Cowboys fan, I appreciated the 40-0 blowout in New York. However, Prescott he was only 13-24 for 143 because he didn't need to do anything. Tony Pollard looked stupid. He looked great. CD 77 yards, and it was the defense. Um, Now, the first pick Daniel Jones had, that's not on him, but when you take it back and pick six, and the defense just, I mean, crushed them. Yeah, crushed the Giants. So it was nice to see, but as a Cowboy fan, I'm not gonna cash it in. You know what I mean? It's a long season. Um, and I think Pollard will do just fine. I don't know if Deuce played for the Cowboys today. Yeah, it looked like he did. He had 6 carries for 8 yards. I mean, which is not much, but you don't really need to do much when Pollard's running around like crazy, man. But anyways, those were the games for today. Now for next week, these are going to be my picks. as of today. So the Thursday night game, Vikings at Eagles. The Eagles win in that one. Then Sunday's games, Ravens at the Bengals. I'm gonna go Ravens. I don't like the way the Bengals offensive line looks. It just looks horrendous. So until they actually figure that out, I'm gonna have to go with the Ravens. Then you got the Seahawks and the Lions. Seahawks. Oh, I didn't talk about that game. The Rams went in there and just drummed them, just beat them down hardcore. It was really not a game. After I believe the second quarter or halftime, the Rams came out and just ran all over them. There was one highlight that showed Geno Smith actually saying, "Oh my God," when Aaron Donald was, got a free run at him. It was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Anyways, the Seahawks. I'm gonna take the Lions at home. The Seahawks just don't look like the Seahawks of old, of course. And then you have the Colts at the Texans. I'm gonna take the Colts. They showed more promise offensively today than the Texans did, and I think that will, translate over into next week. Then we have the Bears at the Buccaneers. This one's going to be tricky, but I think the Buccaneers will take it. The Bears just didn't look right. I think it'll take a couple more weeks for that to happen. And the Chiefs at the Jaguars, that'll be probably one of the better games. I will take. I'm going to take the Jaguars at home. I'm going to take the Jags. That's a tough pick, but I'm going to take the Jags. They just look complete. The Chiefs, I think it'll take a couple weeks for them to figure out their stride and what they really want to do. So I'm going to take the Jags. Then we have the Packers at the Falcons. I'm going to take the Packers on the road. They just looked more explosive on offense. Nothing against the Falcons. Falcons look good, but the Packers, look more explosive. Then we have the Raiders and the Bills. I'm taking the Bills. I can't see the Raiders going into Buffalo and doing that to them. Chargers at the Titans. I'm going to take the Chargers. They look like the better team coming in, so that's what I'm going to do is take the Chargers. 49ers at Rams. Come on. I'm going to be picking the 49ers a lot. Even though I don't care for them too much, but I know a good team and I can respect a good team when I see it. Giants and Cardinals. This one will end up in a tie. Jets at Cowboys. Now, tomorrow night's game, Monday night game. I'm gonna take the Bills at home. So that'll. Let's see. I'll take the Cowboys by 3, I guess, at home. Then Commanders at Broncos. That's another one. That's a tough one. Both teams just didn't impress me. But I'll take the Broncos at home. And then the Dolphins at the Patriots. Dolphins. If Tyreek Hill is still doing what he's doing next week and Tua can stay up, it's going to be the Dolphins. And the Saints at the Panthers will be the Monday night game. I'm going to take the Saints, more experienced quarterback. And then I guess we got 2 Monday night games. The second one is going to be the Browns at the Steelers. I'm going to take the Browns on the road. I'm going to take the Browns on the road. They look like more of an NFL team today. The Steelers looked like they were lost, like they had no idea what they were doing. So that's my breakdown of week 1 and my picks for week 2. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think. What are your picks? So until next week, until I do this again, appreciate you guys watching, taking the time out of your day to watch me talk about something I love, which is the football. So until next week, peace, guys.